Good morning, my dear students. Today we start border strip irrigation method. This is a very important method in the sense many crops in India and abroad. This method is resorted to. So we discuss this method in somewhat more detail, and then later we can avoid such discussion whenever it repeats. Therefore, I have made a little bit elaborate notes on this. Already, I think some FAO publication has been dispatched to you. So, let me first start this one. You can see already we have covered earlier various methods, and now various methods means its classification and so on. And now, out of this, we are now at you can see the classification. Basically, once again I remind you, um, we are here, uh, border strip method. Under controlled flooding, border strip method, we will cover both straight and contour and so on. Okay, so let us go. Yeah, this method basically involves dividing this field into number of strips. Strip means it is bounded by some levees or borders or ridges, they are called. This is how all these words are synonymously used: ridges, borders, or levees, or low flat dikes. So the entire field is divided into number of strips. The width of the strip varies from 10 to 20 meters wide, and even extends up to 100 to 300 meters, and long, and run down the slope. I think let us take the help of the figure now itself. You can see this hand-drawn figure here. This is the levee or border, and this is the another levee or border. Between these two is called the strip. Water is supplied here in this ditch or field channel, supply ditch or field channel, and water is let out to this strip. That means the water flow is confined to this much of width only, which we are talking about 10 to 20 meters or maximum 30 meters. And this is the length of the border, which we are talking about 100 meters to 300 meters. Okay, like that, several borders. The entire field is divided into several borders whose length is 300 meters. Okay, this is a straight border strip method. We will discuss about contour border later on. Okay, so water is let out from the main waterway to the head of the strip. That's what we have seen. Discharge may be varying from, because it's a field channel, that's why low discharges. Of course, again, this discharges depends upon the kind of soil, and then width, length, and all. During the design, we will learn those things. The water is advanced as a thin sheet covering the entire strip. This is very important in this method. The surface is essentially level between the borders. So what we have discussed earlier also, water is advanced as a thin sheet. These arrows represent the thin sheet of water all along the strip. So the surface is essentially level. Not big slopes are allowed, or not too flat slopes are allowed. The reasonable slope is there, but not very big slope. Essential level. The that's what the lengthwise slopes varies from 0.5 to 1.5%. This method is especially suited for close growing crops. Like close growing crops, not row growing, closely grown, like wheat, the barley, then fodder crops and legumes, and new are not suited for crops like rise at the same time. So because we are not allowing any standing water between these borders, we are simply one time putting that thin sheet of water spread and then allowed to refill the soil moisture, and we are not allowing any standing water here. Of course, if you argue that the rice itself does not need any standing water, yes, in modern methods it is possible. But right now the rice, of course, I don't have any history of in the Srivari method. They have such things, but not exactly like this. Okay, so let us go for the next. Already we have explained about this figure. We will come back again when it comes to contour irrigation. So border strip method again continued is suited for these soils. What is the soils? The soil should have a very moderately low to medium high infiltration. That means it should not have too high infiltration or too low infiltration. This is very important. So infiltration characters of the soils is very important. It is not suited to very low infiltration or very high infiltration. It should have a moderately low to medium high infiltration rates. One of the chief advantages is simple farm implements. You can use it to make the borders. Normal casual labor is good enough. Labor requirement of irrigation is also less. Once you make borders, the labor is less. Uniform water application and efficiency is assured. That is very important. Ultimately, all these methods are designed to save water. So uniform water application, that means land preparation is very much important. Okay, initially straight borders that may be laid along general slope of the field, contour borders that are laid across the slope. So when land slope exceeds safe limits, fields are undulating and leveling is not feasible. So when you are resorting to contour method, anyway, let us go back to our figure. See, uh, as if the land is level naturally, then you can have this slope adjusted a little bit this way and that way. You can have this straight contours. But when the land is not so level, it is highly undulating and then slope is very quickly changing, then you should resort to this contour border irrigation. See, again here, this contour border strips are prepared. You can see this is the slope direction of the land. Across that you have to prepare. Okay, this one. So there will be a drain. Once this strip is wetted, there will be a drain also, and the water is flowing in this direction across the slope. These bunds or levees are made and the strip is made. All remaining things are the same. Okay, so that's what it is written here. uh, Contour borders that are laid across the slope when slope exceeds the safe limits. So fields are when fields are undulating and leveling is not feasible, we resorted to contour method, right? And the same principle applies whenever a contour method comes. In fact, earlier also we discussed. The border strip method continued. In laying contour borders, the field is divided into a series of steps. Already we have discussed. Uh, these steps are formed in the successive elevations around the slope. The vertical interval between adjacent benches should, as far as possible, limited to 30 centimeters, but should not exceed 60 centimeters. You can see the height between this bench to this bench, normally 30 centimeters, but should not exceed not more than 60 centimeters. And the height of the bund should be sufficient to contain both normal irrigation stream and the storm runoff, particularly in the contour. In laying contour borders, the irrigation channel is laid down the land slope, providing sufficient number of drop structures. That's what we have discussed also. You can see here, you can provide some drop structures, control structures. Otherwise, the slope is great. You cannot control the water. So that is why you should provide drop structures. And yeah, at the downstream end, borders borders a drainage channel is provided to drain away storm runoff. Already I have shown the drainage channel at the contour end. The rundown the slope should be provided with the erosion control structure. That is also very important. You can see, yeah, you can actually this is a drain here, and you should also erosion structures also. Of course, it's not indicated here, but erosion structure should be also constructed here. So now design criteria of border strip irrigation. In the design criteria, width of the border strip, border length, border slope, size of irrigation stream, and time required to cover a strip area are considered. So basically how much should be the border strip width, border length, and then border slope size, irrigation stream, border slope, size of the irrigation stream, and the time required to cover strip area. Let us first talk about strip width. Strip width, that means how much width is this border. It can be decided after having the fair idea of the size of the irrigation stream. This is also, both are interlinked, strip width and then size of the irrigation stream. Again, size of the irrigation stream depends upon the soils, infiltration, and so on. So they are all interlinked. So how much is the source irrigation stream and so on. Okay. And then degree of land leveling practicable. See, strip width, you cannot have a greater width, suppose if the infiltration rates are high. But however, you cannot have too small widths also. You can see here, when the size of the irrigation stream is small, width is reduced to no less than 3 meters. Otherwise, too many ridges will have to be formed per unit area of the field surface. So that's why you will be wasting a lot of land also under the borders or levees. So that is why a minimum of 3 meters should be there. Of course, a maximum of not exceed 20 meters. That's too much. 20 meters means you have to need a longer stream to irrigate. I mean, bigger stream to irrigate. So that is a very important as far as the strip width design is concerned. Similarly, design criteria of border irrigation continued. The border strip length, how much length earlier we have talked about as less than 100 meters to then as more as 300 meters, but it is not uniform throughout. It all depends on the soil. First of all, strip length depends upon how quickly it can be wetted over its entire length, which in turn depends upon one, the infiltration rate of the soil, two, longitudinal slope of the land, size of the irrigation channel. So why we are resorting to some kind of concentrated flow over a width of the land, because we want to quickly wet this land. So that should be the criteria. If that is the case, then this is what, how quickly it can wetted over its entire length. That is why it doesn't matter if it's a shorter length. If you reduce the length and then quickly wet that land area, that's good enough. You need not have always higher length. So it depends on this. The characters are infiltration rate, longitudinal slope, all these things, they depend on size of irrigation. So depends on the soil. You can see sandy and sandy loam soils will have a shorter length, that is 60 to 100 meters only, because the water simply goes on infiltrating. It cannot reach the longer length of the border strips. Similarly, medium soils will have a little bit greater length, 100 to 150 meters. Similarly, clay soil, definitely because the infiltration rate is less, it can spread the water longer distances, and it takes longer time also, so that because it is slow infiltration rate, water reaches to the root zone. So this is how it depends upon. Similarly, border strip slope, this is very important. Excessive strip slopes will make the water run quickly, causing insufficient infiltration at the upstream. So you cannot have great slopes with moderate slopes, because excessive slopes will causing insufficient infiltration at the upstream and the breach of bund at the downstream. So on the other hand, flat slopes will result in deep percolation. So in order to balance these, some of the recommended safe limits of the land slopes are uh, here.